Hi, everyone. I hope that everything is going well and that you had a good weekend. So, of course, I did have to submit midterm grades already just the other day, which is really just a snapshot of how you're doing in the class. But if you do have any concerns about your status in the class or any questions about it, make sure you do contact me. So most of you are now in a group of 2 or 3. So I hope that you all saw my group assignments that I sent out a few days ago on Friday. I also have emailed each of the groups, so you should have gotten an email from me. And if you have not already contacted your group members, make sure that you do that now. And I mean, seriously, stop what you're doing as soon as you finish watching this announcement and contact them. So from here until the end of the course, you will be regularly working with your group members on the grant proposal draft, including all of the other elements of that process, which might include researching, discussing, asking questions, things like that. So the first thing that you and your group will need to do together is to complete the project plan group assignment. Now, originally, this was going to be due on Wednesday, but I pushed that to Thursday. I figured an extra day would be good for that. So for that assignment, you and your group will collaborate with just one submission per group. And for that assignment, there is a Google Doc linked to on Canvas, which you'll then be prompted to make a copy of. So once you click that link, you'll see what I mean. And then you and your group should complete that together. This might start with one of you making that copy of that document and then sharing it with your other group members so that all of you can edit it. And then each of you works on that document together. But I, of course, also strongly urge you to set up a quick video meeting together just to get to know each other, talk about the grant proposal assignment, and, of course, talk through plans. Having a working meeting to complete that project plan group assignment can also be a great approach. It can help save a lot of time for all of you rather than emailing and messaging back and forth. So completing that group plan together should help ensure strong communication and, of course, a clear approach for your group. It is worth 60 points, which is also our largest point value yet. So make sure you are careful, make sure you're thorough in that plan. And I know that Thursday will come up very quickly, so do try to schedule a meeting with each other as soon as you can. There can be a lot involved with juggling and coordinating schedules, but I did try my best to match group members so that the schedules might work out best for potential meetings. And of course, I know this is an online course, but I also strongly recommend that your group plans on scheduling some regular meetings with each other by video so that you can have more effective collaboration throughout the entire process. So for instance, some groups might decide to just meet every week, others every other week, others as needed. But please do make that part of your process on working on the grant proposal, especially right away. And a few of you are needing to go solo on the project. Sorry about that, but do make sure that you get in touch with me as soon as you can, and so I can share some additional details with you about how you should approach the planning assignment. So after the project plans are completed for Thursday, on Friday we'll be jumping right into Module 4, which is when we will also be beginning work on the grant proposal itself. So this will begin with some lesson materials on the problem and need statement. And this includes lesson 5 from our textbook, the only grant writing book you'll ever need, and some sample problem statements. So then we'll have a discussion post for which you'll analyze some of those sample problem or need statements, and then begin planning your own problem statement for the program that you'll need to fund for your community partner. And when you reply to classmates for that, and the replies are due by Monday, you'll start by responding to your own group members. And so the discussions from here on really will be to help you and your group collaborate, as well as for you to see the ideas of others in the groups and respond to them. So also, as you begin working with your group and starting with the grant proposal writing process, you'll also see that we'll be establishing a fairly predictable and regular rhythm to our weeks. We'll be addressing each section of the grant proposal one by one with a new module for each. We'll start with some lesson materials, a discussion for analyzing some samples and planning your own section, and then a rough draft of that section. And of course, you and your group will need to be collaborating on writing those drafts of those sections. And then for each rough draft of a section, we'll be having a peer review discussion where you'll be giving other groups feedback and you'll be receiving some feedback from others. So this approach will continue into November, and that's when we'll be putting all of the pieces together. and I encourage you and your group to look ahead on our schedule as you plan out your work. So as your group begins working on the various sections of the proposal, you will certainly find that you need some additional information, or you have questions for our community partner. So just make sure, of course, that you and your entire group is in agreement on what you need to contact the community partner about and who will initiate that contact. So just one group member needs to do that contacting. And of course, also feel free to carbon copy me onto any emails with the community partner. And that way, with that agreement in advance on who's doing the contacting and what you're asking, that way we can avoid bombarding that community partner with emails from multiple members of the group. And we, of course, do have quite a few groups working on the project as well. So collaborative writing can be very challenging sometimes. And each of you can bring different strengths and different ideas to the process. And what works for one group might actually not work for another group. But as you approach the collaboration, you should consider how to be equitable in the distribution of work so that each member of your group participates and does a fair share of the work. And of course, I am very happy to help groups out with this if you are unable to decide on a best approach for splitting up the work. But of course, remember to think through the entire process so that by the end, you can all look back and see how each member of the group gave some equal contributions and helpful contributions to the rest of the group. Now, I can share some more details later about collaborative writing if you like, but I know this announcement is already getting long enough, so I'm going to leave it at that for now. But if your group, if you or your group has any questions, concerns, difficulties, anything at all, make sure you don't hesitate to contact me.